It's okay. How do you write about Vietnam, right? When it's been done and it's been done so well. Well, the one thing that I noticed about Vietnam is that nobody had ever written about the computers that were used in Vietnam. Nobody had ever written about the fact that Vietnam was the first war ever to use computers. And I discovered this hack, a program that the US Army were doing called the Death Hack. Because they couldn't figure out how many people were dying in Vietnam. So they sent computer operators over from California to write a program for how many. They had to write programs for cigarettes, for bullets, for guns and others. But one of the programs that they had to write was the Death Hack, how many were dying in Vietnam. And so this is a woman on Park Avenue. Her son is already dead, and she's with a grief group. And she's joined by 4 other mothers. And they've joined a little group, mothers of the dead, and they just get together at coffee morns, except they're all working class. And she lives on Park Avenue. And this is the first morning that they're ever coming to her house. They don't know what to expect, and she's just nervous. I'll just read you a little bit from the start, and then I'll move into the rest. It's called Miro, Miro on the Wall, because she has a mirror in her house. From outside, the sounds of Park Avenue, quiet, ordered, controlled. Still, the nerves jangle in her. Soon she will receive the women. The prospect ties a small knot at the base of her spine. She brings her hands to her elbows and hugs her forearms. The wind ruffles the light curtains at the window, Alicon lace, handmade, tatted with silk trimmings. Never munched for French lace. She would have preferred an ordinary fabric, a light voile. The lace was Solomon's idea long ago, the stuff of marriage, the good glue. He bought her breakfast this morning on the 3-handled tray, croissant, lightly glazed, chamomile tea, a little slice of lemon on the side. He even lay down on the bed in his suit and he touched her hair. He kissed her forehead before he left. Solomon, wise Solomon, briefcase in hand off downtown, the slight waddle in his step. The clack of his polished shoes on the marble floor, his low growled goodbye. Not mean, just throaty. Sometimes it strikes her, there's my husband. There he goes. Same way he's been going for 34 years. And then a sort of silence interrupted the drifting sounds, the snap of the lock, the dim bell, the elevator boy. Good morning, Mr. Soderberg. And the whine at the door, the clack of machinery, the soft murmur of descent, the clanging stop at the lobby below, the rondelay of the elevator cables rising. She pulls the curtains back and peeps out the window once more, catches sight of the flap end of Solomon's grey suit as he disappears into a taxi. The little bald head dips, the slam of yellow, into the traffic and away. He does not even know yet about the visitors. She will tell him sometime, but not yet. No harm. Perhaps this evening, at dinner, candle and wine. Guess what, Sol? As he settles in the chair, fork poised. Guess what? A little sigh from him. Just tell me, Claire, honey, I've had a long day. Nimble out of her nightdress, her body in the full-length mirror, a little pale and puckered, but she can still stretch out of it. She yawns, her hands high in the air, tall, still thin, jet-black hair, a single streak of badger grey from the temple. 52 years old, she'd always assumed she'd never make it this far. What was it her mother said that afternoon long ago? It can't be over while the sun's still shining, Claire, can it? The mango groves of Florida, the white mansion set back on the lawn, barefoot at the age of 12, the rough bark against her hands draped down over the branch, looking down at the water, limber in the light. Good days, those. Quick, snap to, no tree hanging, no whine. Not a morning for the long agos. She passes a damp cloth over her hair and brushes it with a wooden comb. She turns her head sideways and presses the hair lengthways against her palm. Tangled at the split ends. Time for a trim. She cleans out the bristles and dumps the strands in the foot-flip garbage can. They say the hair of the dead still grows, takes on a life of its own. Down there with the other detritus, tissues, lipstick cakes, toothpaste lids, allergy pills, eyeliner, heart medicine, youth, nail clippers, dental floss, aspirin, grief. How is it that the grey hairs are never the ones to come out? In her 20s, she'd hated the badger streak when it appeared overnight, dyed it, hid it, chopped it. Now it defines her, the elegant, swift ray of grey sideways from the temple. A road in my hair, do not overtake. Things to do, hurry, toilet, toothbrush rub, a light swish of makeup, some blush, a little eyeliner and a lipstick dab. Never one to fuss with makeup. But at the cupboards she pauses, Bra and panties in simple bays, her favourite dress, aqua and green silk screen with a shellfish motif, A-line, sleeveless, just above the knee, bows on the slits, zip behind, perfect. She reaches round, the soft cotton cool against her skin. A good dress, fashionable and feminist at the same time, not too fancy or show-offy, but contemporary, modest, good. She hitches the hem a little higher, extends her foot, legs that glisten, said Solomon years ago. She told him once that he made love like a hanged man, erect but dead. A joke she had heard at Richard Pryor concert. She'd sneaked in alone using her friend's press pass. At once off, she found the concert neither too risky nor boring, but Solomon pouted for a week, 3 days at the joke, 4 days because she went to the concert at all. Women's lib, he said, burn your bra, lose your marbles. And so she's losing her marbles, maybe, or maybe she's not. I'm aware of time. Okay, good. She's looking out the window onto Park Avenue, and this is where she's waiting for the women. Later, the women come along, I'll tell you, and they have seen the tightrope walker. I'm not going to get to that part. I'm just going to get to the part where the women are arriving at her door. That's how the whole thing sort of melds in. Nothing much happening on Park. Everyone gone to their summer homes. Solomon dead against. City boy. Likes his late hours. Even in summertime. His kiss this morning made me feel good. And his cologne smell. Same as Joshua's. Oh, the day Joshua first shaved. Oh, the day he covered himself in foam. So very careful with the razor. He made an avenue through the cheek, but nicked himself on the neck. He tore off a tiny piece of his daddy's Wall Street Journal, licked it and pasted it to the wound, the business page clotting his blood. He walked around with paper on his neck for an hour. He had to wet it to get it off. She had stood at the bathroom door smiling. My big, tall boy shaven. Long ago, the simple things, they come back to us. They rest for a moment by our rib cages, then suddenly reach in and twist our hearts a notch backwards. No newspapers big enough to paste them back together in Saigon. She turns glassy-eyed and looks down the street again. Pull yourself together, Claire. Get a grip. She takes another long haul and lets the smoke settle in her lungs. She's heard somewhere that cigarettes are good for grief. On long drag, you forget how to cry. The body too busy dealing with the poison. No wonder they gave them out free to the soldiers. Lucky strikes. She spies a black woman on the corner turning away, tall and bosom burdened, wearing a flowery dress. Perhaps Gloria, but all alone. A housekeeper maybe. You never know. She would love to run downstairs and go to the corner and scoop her up, Gloria, her favourite of them all, gather her in their arms, bring her back, sit her down, make her coffee, talk and laugh and whisper and belong, just belong. That's all she wants, our little club, our little interruption. Dearest Gloria, up there in the Bronx every night and morning. How in the world did you live in such a place? Those flights of stairs, the terrible stench, all those young girls outside selling their bodies, looking like they'd fall on their backs and use their spines as mattresses. Poor Gloria. Imagine having to go shopping and just walking through that gauntlet. The fires in the sky. They should call it Beirut and be finished with it. Perhaps she could hire Gloria, bring her in odd jobs around the house, the bits and pieces. They could sit in the kitchen table together and while away the days, make a secret gin and tonic or two, and let the hours just drift. Her and Gloria, at ease, at joy. Yes, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Down on the street, the woman turns a corner and away. Claire stamps out the cigarette and totters backwards towards the roof door, a little woozy. The world shifted sideways for an instant. Down the stairs, holding onto the banisters, head spinning. Joshua never smoked. Maybe on his way to heaven, he asked for one. Here's my thumb, and here's my leg, and here's my throat, and here's my heart, and here's one lung, and hey, let's bring them all together for one final lucky strike. Back inside, through the maid's entrance, she hears the clock in the living room striking time. To the kitchen, woozy, take a breath. Who needs a master's degree to boil water? She steps unsurely along the corridor back to the kitchen. Marble countertop, gold-handled cupboards, lots of white machinery.